David of chefsresources.com, and I'm really excited to be here today with Jim Bartlett, knife nerd, into an interview and premiered by chefs across the world. So I'm going to hand it over to Joe for the proper introductions.
All right, thank you. So today we're actually here with world-renowned master tradesman Bob Kramer. We're going to take a little peek in his world of crafting some of the finest knives in the world. All right, thank you. Yeah, my pleasure.
Other questions?
No. Oh, well, there's one that I was going to ask was, so I saw recently that one of your knives went for like $32,000 in the auction site. Is that like a regular basis thing, or is that like just kind of something that was one spontaneous?
The auction stuff tends to go for pretty big money. I think because my production is so low and there's pretty big demand, I've been really fortunate with a lot of publicity. I think that's a big part of it. But yeah, it's a lot of money.
Oh yeah. Buy a car.
What's the most layers you've ever put into it?
Well, I mean, probably for me, the most has been maybe 10,000.
10,000 layers?
Holy crap!
Layers of steel? Wow.
But you have to understand, it's like making phyllo dough. And the way I'm doing it, it's not just doubling. So I'll stretch it out and cut it into 4 or 5 and then stack it. So if I start with 20 layers and stretch it out, cut it into 5, I now have 100 layers. Stretch that out into 5, I have 500.
And how does that change the knife? Does it make it sharper? Does it make it strong? Does it make it
It's
prettier?
mostly aesthetics.
Aesthetics?
So it used to be, this is primitive steel. So this is iron with a little bit of carbon in it.
Okay.
So of course you can't make a tool from this. You have to heat it up and squish it into one mass. You got to get rid of all these holes. And if you just look at this, you can tell that, you see how this is all drippy?
Yeah.
It looks kind of like melted wax. Well, this has picked up a whole bunch of carbon. Like this is a big old drip here. that means that the iron has picked up a whole bunch of carbon and has basically become cast iron. So if we measured this chemically, this would be about 3% carbon. That makes a terrible knife. It makes an okay pan, but it makes a terrible knife because it's kind of brittle. This, on the other hand, is probably more around 0.8% carbon. So the fact that you heat it up, squish it together, stretch it and fold it, you're homogenizing the steel. You're cleaning it and you're distributing the carbon content. So that's why we initially forged a knife and why you initially had to really build the layer count. You weren't doing it for the layers, you were doing it to clean the steel.
Yeah.
And you can tell as you're working it the same way that you can, when you first make bread, you put it in a bowl, it's all kind of stringy and snotty and doesn't have a whole lot of integrity.
Yeah.
But as you knead it and work it, you sort of bring out the gluten, build the gluten, and build the texture of the bread. You're doing the same thing with the steel. With the modern made steel like this, this stuff is already solid. It's as dense as it's going to be, and the chemistry is whatever the chemistry is. So then when we layer it up, we're just looking for the aesthetics. Once you start to get beyond 10,000 layers, they kind of disappear. They start to get so thin, they're almost homogenizing. So you begin to lose the look of it. I mean, you could take it to 1 million layers, but it wouldn't look like anything, right? It would just kind of disappear. Okay, here we go.
Pretty cool.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the most fun part of the job. It's just the beating of steel. It's really a big wad of steel at 2,400 degrees Fahrenheit.
How many pounds of pressure does that thing deal?
So it varies depending on how far you're pushing the pedal down and how fast the hammer's coming. So right in the middle zone is when it's given the most powerful blow, because it's, when you engage the clutch, it pulls, this is called the ram, it pulls the ram up, right, and those arms are on a spring.
Yeah.
So it pulls it up, and as you come down at a certain speed, it throws it, and it's throwing it as hard as it can. If you're going slower, the spring is sort of holding the ram up, and it just can touch the work. If you're going full speed, it's coming around so quickly, it's snatching it back up before it gives full impact. So it's really in the moderate speed zone, and you're getting the most hit. So you can change the speed of the hammer to deliver the sort of blow that you're looking for. Whether you want full impact or whether you want light. But these hammers are rated. You can see here it says 500 pounds. This is what they're weighing. This one piece, that's called the ram.
Yeah.
The hammer weighs 12,000.
Crap.
It's 4 feet of concrete underneath there. Reinforced concrete. Because otherwise it'd just crush it. This is a 4-inch slab, and it just
Shattered.
It just turns to mush. So it's sitting on 20,000 pounds of concrete. So the force is relative to how fast the